What's up, America? This your boy Phillip Bufford live on WTMH Radio. Feeling so good right now. We got in the building. Dr. Gina Nichols in the building. Say what's up to the world, girl. She's so cool, so cool. She's just so cool in the building. She was just like, "What's up?" She just took the jacket off. She done got comfortable. I'm like, "What's going on?"
I mean, after the conversation that you just dropped, yeah, anybody would be taking the jacket off up in here.
So we got Lacaya BX in the building. Say what's up, girl.
What's up? Where's my Chico stick and my quarter water?
For a long time I thought she was saying she wanted a quarter oil. I'm like, why?
No, quarter water.
She said a quarter water. I was like, why you want a quarter oil? What you gonna do with that?
You gonna leave my accent alone.
So listen, America, what's going on? This is your boy Phillip Bufford live on WTMH Radio right now. It's 48 past hour, and we got in the building Dr. Gina Nichols, and she does a lot of things. She really hits y'all with a lot of stuff. Right before she got on, I know people are like, wait, I got questions. So if you want to call us up, 614-781-0754. The number again is 614-781-0754. We got Lacaya BX. She's putting that out there on Facebook, so everyone that's watching on Facebook can see it. Also, if you're listening, if you're on Facebook or whatever, you can just download the free WTMH radio app and just listen on your phones if you have an Android phone.
You can actually do it on Apple as well.
You can do it on Apple as well?
You can do it on Apple.
All right, well then, shoot, let me send that text message out to me.
Yes, it's Tune In, and you can get it on the Apple.
So go to Tune In, and you get it on the Apple.
Yes, found that out. Thanks you, Jeff.
Yes,
Whitehall.
Yes, that works. So tune in on the app on the iPhone and Google Play. On
WTMH Radio on Google Play.
All right, that's what it is there.
There we go.
So I'm just learning something new because we were trying to figure this out for the longest. So you go to Tune In.
Yep, you download Tune In and then you put in WTMH Radio and it'll bring us up.
All right, so then that works. That works.
Yep.
So we got Dr. Gina Nichols in the building. Gina, and so and it's so cool because Gina right now is so cool, but she came in here in a banging black dress. Like, really, this dress is really, really nice. It's like really nice. And the body that goes with it's very, very nice. It's just, and that's America. That's what I'm saying. Is if you're gonna wear,
is that how you feeling right about now?
No, I see women all the time. It's got to be a little bit more than that. But shoot, it's there. I testify. I raise my hand if you want me to. I'm saying it live on camera. So fellas, I don't know. Are you involved with something? Well, we get to that in a moment. We'll make that a special segment. But I can appreciate beauty. Also, shout out to Allison in Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out to Malika in Cincinnati. Shout out to Miss Chocolate, aka Jackie, in West Virginia. And shout out to everybody at Allstate in Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you so much for listening. All y'all supposed to be taking claims, and y'all listen to Phillip Bufford live.
So that's all right though.
Everybody at Allstate, shout out to y'all listening to me. I love y'all every Friday night. Shout out to everybody in Delaware, Dover, Delaware. My cousin, what's up, girl? Because she got everybody around her listening. So shout out to Phyllis up in Delaware. And look, if any of y'all need a physician, I recommend Dr. Gina Nichols. I recommend Allstate. If y'all got anybody that need like a doctor's referral, just call Dr. Gina Nichols. They're like, why is he screaming her name like Tourette's? I'm like, I got nothing else better to do.
You feeling like Martin. That's all that is.
But see, fellas, I'm just gonna tell you, fellas, if you were here and you saw Dr. Gina Nichols, you'd be like, Gina Nichols, your girlfriend would be so pissed with you. I'm just saying.
Why are you causing commotion?
That's what I do. I feel like it is my responsibility to contribute to American drama, and we're going to use Dr. Gina Nichols to do that.
We don't need any more drama in the USA.
Yes,
leave it alone.
Yes, we do. We need something to distract us from Trump's stupidity. So, so today that's Phillip Bufford is serving Dr. Gina Nichols to America. So if you have a girlfriend, a wife, a baby's mama, or ladies, if your girlfriend is mad with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're going all the way around.
We didn't discriminate.
Heterosexual, homosexual, metrosexuals, you can look but can't touch.
That's all. That's
if
all.
you can touch, you need to tell me the secret. You can touch Dr. Gina Nichols all the way from here. Tell me the secret. I need to learn force. I've been practicing since I was something great. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. She just stood up there. Do you blush? She is so cool. Like, she is so cool right now.
She's probably gonna get in her car and feel like this fool.
Negro. She gonna be like, this Negro. So Dr. Gina Nichols, talk to us. So you've been in practice since 2005. You started your open practice.
Yes.
Since 2005. So first and foremost, let's just start from the beginning. What got you to go into medicine of all things?
Well, that's something that started from childhood. I was actually born and raised here in Columbus, but had a very tragic thing. I lost my mother when I was 12, and that was to breast cancer. She was actually diagnosed when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
So, and actually I was very instrumental in taking care of her when she was sick. She lost her battle when she was 31.
Oh, wow.
And it was just what I always desired to do, Was I good at math? I was good at math. I was good at science. I loved writing. I went to OSU on an academic scholarship. So
that works.
I was good at anything that I wanted to do. My stepfather was an engineer. I thought about engineering, and there was different things, that my path changed from here and there. But that was something that I always knew that I wanted to do, probably from the time I was 5-6 years old or so. So initially I was going to do hematology oncology. I did end up having a family early.
Okay.
So I decided to divert from that, and I decided to do family medicine.
How much of a challenge is that to go from the pathway? And when did you make that diversion? Were you in med school when you made that change, or?
That change was made after my first year residency. My first year residency was in Massachusetts at a UMass hospital.
Okay.
And if I were to continue, my undergrad number one was at OSU. It was in molecular genetics.
Okay.
And that was when genetics was the big thing.
Yeah.
It was a new big thing. I was going to find the cure for cancer, and that was my path that I was going, that I was heading down. But then after doing my first year of internal medicine at a UMass hospital, and at that time I was married, and my ex-husband, who's an attorney now, couldn't find work, because in Massachusetts, everyone there has 2 and 3 advanced degrees. That's just the way things work on the East Coast. You know? So I needed to come back because it wasn't good for his psyche, being a man, not being able to work and having me be the sole breadwinner. So when I came back, I decided to change from internal medicine and get into the workforce a lot faster, because it would be 3 years if I decided to complete it in family medicine, as opposed to roughly 5-6 years if I decided to do, upwards next to 6 years or so if I decided to specialize.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So I said, you know what, it's time to get out. I've spent all this time. It's time to take care of the family. And so I chose to have the impact that I needed to have from a family medicine standpoint. And I do think that I have. I still find a lot of women when they come in and I'm screening with breast exams, and I have very close interactions with breast surgeons and that sort of thing. I had actually one patient that came in the other day that I want to say she's 27, 28 years old. She had a rash on her breast, and someone had been treating her for years for the rash. And I looked and I said, this is kind of odd for you to continue to have this rash on your breast. I said, I think with your history, that she had breast cancer, a history of breast cancer in her family, I think you should go over and see the breast surgeon and talk to him and just see what's going on. And she actually ended up having a breast cancer.
Wow.
So this sort of thing happens, all the time, so you don't have to necessarily, so you can make your impact in more than one way. I didn't necessarily have to be a hematologist, oncologist, and above all, I'm a pretty happy person. Most hematologists, oncologists aren't that happy.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time studying.
And above all, so many people are dying.
Yes.
Right. So I get to see the happy part, get to see babies, you get to see people live as well.
So because in your practice, you not only do family medicine, but you also help with weight loss. Which part do you enjoy most? The weight loss part, or more so in the family medicine part?
I don't believe that I can actually say either or.
Okay.
Either or. Because I just enjoy making people happy. For instance, I walked in a patient's room today, and the first thing she said to me was, "How many patients today have told you that they loved you?" And I looked and I said, "You must have lost a lot of weight." And she said, "I did."
Okay.
And I said, "Wonderful." Opened up her chart, looked at it, and I think she was down. And it was someone who her body mass index was maybe about 29 or so.
Okay.
But she hadn't been able to lose weight for quite some time. And so she was down maybe about 15 pounds in 1 month, you know.
Sweet.
And I'm
jealous.
And she could not stop telling me how much she loved me, you know.
Wow.
Hey, I love you too, you know. So that is very gratifying, just to see someone happy in that way. So I mean, it just depends. In the same token, then when you see the person that you was able to actually save their life, you know,
right?
So you get different gratification from different things. Another reason why I changed from internal medicine when I was in the UMass was because there wasn't a great amount of diversity in internal medicine.
Yeah.
You know, it was more elderly people.
Right.
I did do pap smears. That was something I enjoyed doing. So I got all the pap smears when I was there, you know, but I enjoy internal medicine or family medicine because of the large population base. Okay. So the diversity of, I don't get bored. How's that? I don't get bored.
Especially when you got me, my mom, and my sister in at the same time for our appointment.
Exactly.
But you're gonna be there for tomorrow for
all three of us.
And then they're all talking at one time, right?
Right. So you see all three of them? You see all
in the same room. In the same room.
God, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, all three of us.
Yeah.
So which one of us is the worst, my mom or my sister?
She's gonna make this whole interview about herself.
No, because I'm sure that she has other patients that are similar to us. I just don't know how they may react.
You know what? I really enjoy. I enjoy all of my patients. I wouldn't say the worst in what way. I don't see either of you as being anything like that.
Okay.
You guys are just different. You're different. Each of you are different and unique.
Okay.
So do you get a chance? Do you feel like you get a chance by being in family practice? That you get a chance, you're like the first defense against things that are happening because they see you the most. They trust you because you're part of their family. In essence, family medicine is a unique position that I know that a lot of people that are in family medicine really feel fulfilled. So how does that feel for you being in family medicine and being kind of like that? Do you feel like you're that first line of defense against things that are happening to your patients?
Well, I mean, you do, and you have to feel that way because you are, as they always refer to us in medicine, as being the gatekeepers. And we are the gatekeepers because we are the ones that determine, okay, is this someone that needs to be referred? Do you need to go and see the cardiologist? Do you need to go to the ER? You know, do you need to go and see ortho? Is this a fracture? Is this not? You know, depending on if it's a child, if it's an adult, et cetera, et cetera. So there are a lot of decisions that you are left to make on your own. So there are those different decisions that you make, but if you're properly trained for it, and the hospital where I was trained at, we saw a lot of cases, so we were properly trained for it. I mean, it's gratifying. I think it's gratifying. So I think it's a great thing.
So as a patient's coming in, do you feel that you have some patients that withhold information that may hinder their progress as far as health?
Well, I don't know that they hinder it on purpose, but that's why you're also taught during your second year of med school, you're taught interviewing skills. Okay. Because quite often patients don't know what's important to tell you.
Right.
Okay. They may think, well, doc, I didn't know that I needed to tell you that my shortness of breath is worse when I lay down at night, and then I went from sleeping on 1 pillow to 5 pillows. You know, they may not know. Details matter, but that's why you're the trained professional, and you need to. And there are certain clues, you know. I mean, I'm not going to spend 50 minutes in the room with every patient. One patient may get 5 minutes because it's that fast. I know, okay, this patient only needs 5 minutes, whereas this patient over here may need 45 minutes and then a transfer to the ER, depending on what it is that I find, you know.
Gotcha.
Right. So, but that's then where your level of expertise comes in.
Okay. So, go ahead.
Well, you do so many different things. You do so many different things. So, I want to slide real quick before. Well, no, I don't want to do that. We're gonna get to the next segment. The question I do want to ask is cultural differences. Have you recognized, being a physician, you see different different cultures respond differently to questions and finding issues that are happening. So what are some differences that you've noticed between Black clients, white clients, Asian clients, Latino clients, men versus women? What are some things that you've noticed to be kind of themes as a physician dealing with different cultures and different sexes?
Well, that's a good question. Well, what I do know is that, for instance, if you're dealing with people that are, let's say, from Africa, when you start to talk about depression, that's a taboo issue. Okay. But I've been fortunate in that I've been able to connect with people from several different backgrounds. Okay. So I have been able to kind of break down that cultural background, and then also whenever they have different functions and they invite me, I go. And, and you know, when I interact with the families, and you know, I've been named godmother and that kind of thing. Of, you know, people from other cultures and different parts of the world. So I try to make them comfortable with me as their physician, not just as their physician, but a lot of them refer to me as their daughter. You know, as their daughter. You know. So so people from cultures such as Africa, or different parts of Africa, they have an issue with acknowledging depression. You know, that's something that I've noticed. Even they have an issue with impotence and an issue with discussing fertility. Those are issues that I've seen with them. African Americans, most Black men just don't go to the doctor, period, point blank. You know, they don't think they need to go to the doctor
unless their wives or girlfriend make them.
Exactly. And they'll come in, and the girlfriends will have a long list, and they'll just sit there quietly. Okay. You know, and I don't know what the problem is with having a colonoscopy. You know, they just cannot have anything go inside the rectum. Everything's got to come outside the rectum. You know, even if it's going to save their lives. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, so that's the issue that I see with African American, kind of that homophobia and that kind of thing. I understand.
Even though it's a screening.
Exactly. It's simply a screening test, you know. So it can be a challenge to get the African American male to have those different things done. But normally they'll say, well, you know, if you're going to do the rectal exam for the prostate, at least it's a female. So, all right, I'll let you do it, you know. So normally we're able to get by that.
Listen, we need to jump back into some more music before we but tell people how they can get in touch with you real quick.
They can get in touch with me at phone number 614-577-1498.
All right. And go ahead, Lacaya, tell people how they can get in touch with you.
They can catch me on my Facebook page at Lacaya, that's Lacaya BX.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump back into some more music, and we're going to get some more other things, and we got some food in the building. And so I'm pretty excited about that. But in the meantime, America, don't go nowhere, keep it locked right here. It's 5 past hour, East Coast, West Coast, Northwest, and, you know, Midwest.
Worldwide.
Gulf Coast, worldwide. Truffle butter. We got something for truffle butter for you. Nicki Minaj, Drake, Lil Wayne. Actually, everybody that Gina likes. Right now. American, don't go nowhere. Keep it locked right here. Phillip Bufford live. Smell this.
Are you here right now, huh? We should all disappear right now. Look, you're getting all your friends, and you're getting in the car, and you're coming to the house. So we clear right now, huh?